Life is absolute or all. Probably the most important discovery of the new science of life is that it is universally present. We no longer think of life as being found only in some entity, here in a lily, there in a dog, but we find it everywhere, here in the stone and there in the star. There are plenty of evidences of life manifesting itself in inarticulate nature, of life of which when we find it, we can but acknowledge the presence. We cannot say what it is, we can only say it is. Metaphor or not, the great seer Moses perceived the presence of this life in the flaming bush. In himself and in nature, he discovered something more than form and beauty. He found that something in nature that replied to a something in himself. And communing with it, he asked, "What is your name?" He could not define this presence, but he seemed to say, "I am that I am." I am denotes life or existence, and that I am shows that it cannot be defined in terms, but that which cannot be defined in terms must be the absolute. Life then is absolute. It is all. The all is found therefore not merely in nature and in man, but as nature and as man, and yet more than nature and man. All that we perceive is one and inseparable with it, for all is life. This life is what we call spirit. Spirit is therefore life, mind, intelligence, all. So anything or anyone or all can say, "I am." I am comes from the verb to be and denotes being. Being therefore indicates that which is, apart from time or space. It is that which was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. Nor is it something outside of us. It is rather something within us, which makes us what we are. It is spirit or first cause in us. It is that subtle substance of the soul, coming forth into expression and manifesting as things. The body, accordingly, is spirit. We see it as body from the outside or objective point of view. But if we view it from within, it is spirit or being. So all things are one in essence, for all are being, and being is all or absolute. Yet being takes soul form or thought form, so that within the lily is the eternal idea of lily, which always gives birth to a lily from a lily bulb, and a rose always gives birth to a rose. Each form of life gives birth after its own kind. This is interestingly illustrated in the example of a tree. At one time, the botanist supposed the sap is drawn through the trunk and branches of a tree entirely by capillary action, that is, mechanical force. Yet it is now known that a tree will die from a shock even while its spores are unimpaired, showing that more than mechanical action is needed to explain it. In other words, there must be an organized intelligence within the tree which governs and sustains its life. When a shock or injury occurs, this intelligence withdraws, leaving the shell which it had built for itself to disintegrate into elemental substance again. The elemental substance must in nature of the case be simply disorganized thought energy, which is produced by creative mind as ready-made material upon which the soul principle may draw. We have here, then, sufficient evidence to show that each living thing in nature has a soul. We will not hesitate to say that the soul exists as the being of the tree, the life principle, the thought form, spirit acting as the idea of tree within, and taking on its body as a tree. The soul of the tree, the soul of a lily, the soul of a bird, the soul of a man, is that within which makes each thing appear in its chosen form. The soul is the individualization of spirit and shares the nature of the whole soul. It is the life principle and is what we call being. When we speak of it as one or the whole, We call it absolute or eternal being. It is eternal, in essence, never changes from age to age. It is